Officer
I need to
Marcus
see your
Brennan
identification.
thought he knew exactly what he
What
was
probable
hearing.
cause do you have?
In his 9 years patrolling suburban
Those could be
Atlanta,
fake. I've
he'd
seen
made
fake
this
military
kind of
IDs
stop
before.
dozens
Are you a
of
US
times.
citizen?
The accent, the hesitation, the way someone carried themselves, to him, these were all the signs he needed. When he heard Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi speaking on her phone outside the CVS pharmacy that afternoon, his mind was already made. But when he demanded her papers and insisted she prove her citizenship, he made a catastrophic mistake. Patricia Adeyemi wasn't just any woman. She was a 52-year-old chief warrant officer in the United States Army with 28 years of distinguished service. Born in Lagos, Nigeria, Patricia had arrived in the United States at age 16 in 1973. She became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 1993, 30 years ago. She held degrees from Georgia State University and the Army War College. She'd served 3 combat deployments, 2 in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan. She'd earned the Bronze Star, the Meritorious Service Medal, and the Army Commendation Medal with Valor. That Tuesday afternoon, exhausted from a 12-hour shift at Fort Benning, still in her Army combat uniform, she was picking up her daughter's prescription before heading home. 3 body cameras captured what happened next. Officer Brennan's camera recorded every word in crystal-clear 1080p. His partner, Officer Jennifer Walsh, had her camera running from a different angle. The CVS security system captured everything in bright afternoon sunlight. Perfect lighting, multiple angles, everything documented. What Officer Brennan didn't know was that his actions would cost Gwinnett County $16.8 million. Before we continue, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Stories like these need to be shared, and your support helps us bring more truth to light. Officer Marcus Brennan, badge number 4527, had been with Gwinnett County Police for 9 years. 5 civilian complaints had been filed against him, 2 for racial profiling, 2 for excessive force, 1 for unlawful detention. None resulted in discipline. His evaluations consistently praised him as proactive and results-oriented. To Brennan, the badge meant ultimate authority. The Fourth Amendment was a suggestion, not a requirement. He demanded identification from dozens of people based on nothing more than an accent or skin tone. Until that Tuesday at 4:47 p.m., no one had successfully challenged him. The call came at 2:34 p.m., an anonymous complaint to Gwinnett County Police, suspicious activity at the CVS, a woman who doesn't speak English well and might be illegal, was acting nervous. No description of any crime, no specific threat, just vague suspicion. Instead of verifying any actual crime, Brennan jumped in his patrol car. He called Officer Walsh to meet him. At 4:41 p.m., both officers activated their body cameras as they pulled into the CVS parking lot. The timestamp read 4:41:33 p.m. Everything that followed would be documented forever. The CVS parking lot was bathed in golden afternoon sunlight. 73 degrees, perfect October weather in Georgia. Natural light flooded every corner, creating perfect visibility. The CVS security camera captured the entire scene. 4 cameras total, all recording simultaneously. Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi stood near her silver Honda CR-V, still in her Army combat uniform. Her name tape clearly visible, Adeyemi. Her rank insignia, the Chief Warrant Officer 4 Eagle, pinned to her chest. Combat boots dusty from the training range. She'd just walked out with a white pharmacy bag containing her daughter's antibiotics. Her phone pressed to her ear, speaking in Yoruba to her mother, the melodic tones mixing with English phrases. She was bone-tired. Her shift had started at 4:30 that morning. Officer Brennan's patrol car pulled in at 4:43 p.m. His camera captured his head turning, scanning, hunting. He spotted Patricia immediately, the woman in uniform speaking a foreign language. He pulled into a space 3 rows behind her. Walsh's vehicle arrived seconds later. Both officers emerged. Brennan's body language was purposeful, shoulders back, hand near his weapon. Walsh's camera showed her hesitation, confusion in her expression. Patricia heard the footsteps, heavy boots on asphalt. She turned, phone at her ear, and saw 2 police officers approaching. Her stomach dropped. She forced herself to stay calm. "Mom, I'll call you back." All 4 cameras captured her expression, shifting from confusion to wary awareness. "Ma'am, I need to see your identification." Brennan's voice was flat, authoritative. His camera recorded his approach, each step. He stopped 6 feet from Patricia, hand still near his weapon. "On what grounds, officer? What probable cause do you have?" Brennan's eyes narrowed. "We received a complaint about suspicious activity. I need to verify your identity and immigration status." "Officer, I'm picking up medication. I haven't committed any crime. Under the 4th Amendment, you need reasonable suspicion. What specific crime do you suspect?" Walsh's camera captured Brennan's jaw clenching. He stepped closer, 4 feet now, invading her space to intimidate. "Ma'am, don't make this difficult. Are you a U.S. citizen?" Patricia reached slowly into her pocket. She pulled out her military ID and Georgia driver's license. Both cameras captured them clearly, the DOD ID with her photo, rank, identification number, the driver's license with her Lawrenceville address. "I'm Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi, United States Army, born in Lagos, Nigeria. I've been a naturalized citizen for 30 years. I served this country for 28 years. What probable cause do you have?" Brennan glanced at the IDs. 2 seconds. "Those could be fake. I've seen fake military IDs." Walsh's camera captured her eyes widening. She stepped back, uncomfortable, but said nothing. "Officer, you're violating my 4th Amendment rights. You have no probable cause, no reasonable suspicion. I'm a commissioned officer in the United States Army. You're acting outside your authority." The parking lot attracted attention. 3 customers emerged from the CVS. 2 pulled out phones, more cameras. A teenager raised his phone, recording. 8 perspectives now documenting everything. Brennan's face flushed. "What's your social security number? If you're really a citizen, you'll have one." "You want me to recite my social security number in public? Officer, that's not how this works. You're racially profiling me based on my accent. I've shown valid government ID. I'm under no legal obligation to prove citizenship without probable cause." Walsh spoke quietly. "Marcus, she's military. Valid ID, maybe." "I'll handle this, Jennifer." Brennan's camera swung back to Patricia. "You're being uncooperative. That gives me reasonable suspicion. Turn around and place your hands behind your back." Patricia's voice rose, clear and strong, directed at the cameras. "I am not resisting, but I'm not consenting to this unlawful detention. Officer, you're violating my constitutional rights. This is retaliation. You have no warrant, no probable cause. This is racial profiling. Should police need probable cause before demanding citizenship papers, or is an accent enough?" Comment below. This wasn't just about Patricia. This was about whether the Constitution applies equally to naturalized citizens. Brennan grabbed Patricia's arm. His camera recorded contact, his hand closing around her bicep. Patricia stood still. "I'm not resisting, but I don't consent. Turn around, now!" Patricia turned slowly. Brennan pulled her arms behind her back. The metallic click echoed as handcuffs closed, first the right, then the left. 4 cameras captured the sound, sharp, final. Patricia turned her head, looking directly at Walsh's body camera, then the CVS camera, then the recording phones. 8 people watching. "My name is Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi, United States Army, 28 years of service. I am a United States citizen, born in Lagos, Nigeria, naturalized in 1993. I'm being arrested for asserting my 4th Amendment rights and refusing an unlawful demand. Officer Marcus Brennan, badge 4527, Gwinnett County Police, violated my rights by demanding citizenship proof without probable cause. This is racial profiling. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. The parking lot fell silent. Every word captured. Perfect afternoon sunlight illuminating everything. An older white woman stepped forward. "Officers, I know her. That's Chief Adeyemi. She's military. What are you doing?" Brennan ignored her. He guided Patricia toward his patrol car. 37 steps. Every step documented. The walk took 42 seconds. Brennan's camera captured Patricia's combat boots on asphalt, the pharmacy bag in her handcuffed hands, her uniform rippling in the October breeze. 12 people formed a semicircle, phones raised. A young black man shouted, "She's Army! She's wearing the uniform!" A woman cried, hand over her mouth. Major Lisa Chen pushed through the crowd, also in Army uniform. "Officer, I'm Major Lisa Chen, 316th Cavalry Brigade. Chief Adeyemi is my colleague. She's retiring next month with honors." "Ma'am, step back or you'll be arrested for interference." Brennan opened the back door. Patricia couldn't easily maneuver with hands cuffed behind her, his hand pushed down on her head. His camera captured Patricia's face, stoic, resolved, disappearing into the back seat. The door slammed. The crowd erupted. Inside, Patricia sat on the hard plastic seat, separated by a metal partition. The dashboard camera recorded her. She stared at the camera. "This is Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi. The time is 4:52 p.m. I'm being transported by Officer Brennan, badge 4527. I've committed no crime. I've been detained without probable cause." The drive took 18 minutes. The dashboard camera recorded everything, the clock advancing from 4:54 to 5:12 p.m. Patricia winced as handcuffs dug into her wrists. They arrived at Gwinnett County Police at 5:12 p.m. Interior cameras, harsh LED lighting, captured Patricia's entry into the booking area. Sergeant Donald Matthews, the booking officer, looked up. 23-year veteran. His body camera was active. "What you got, Brennan?" "Suspected immigration violation. Refused proof of citizenship. Obstruction." Patricia's voice cut through. "Sergeant, I'm Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi, United States Army, U.S. citizen for 30 years, born Lagos, Nigeria, naturalized 1993. Officer Brennan detained me without probable cause after demanding citizenship papers based on my accent. I showed military ID and driver's license, which he dismissed. I cited the Fourth Amendment. He arrested me in retaliation." Matthews stopped typing. He looked at Patricia, really looked. The uniform, the rank, the name tape. "She's military?" "Claims to be. ID could be fake." Matthews approached Patricia. "Ma'am, you were born where?" "Lagos, Nigeria. Came to the U.S. in 1973 at 16. Attended Atlanta High School. Joined the Army in 1995. Naturalized 1993. 28 years of service." Matthews returned to his computer. His fingers moved across the keyboard. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. The screen populated. "She's in the system." His voice was flat. "Full citizen. Naturalized 1993. Valid Georgia license. Fort Benning military ID active. Social Security confirmed. DOD clearance, secret level. 28 years Army. Current rank, Chief Warrant Officer 4. Retirement date, November 15th, next month." He looked up. "She's exactly who she says she is." Brennan froze. "But the complaint? What complaint? What crime?" Matthews's voice had an edge. "Marcus, why is a senior military officer in handcuffs?" Matthews looked at his watch, then at Patricia, then at booking paperwork. His jaw tightened. "We need to process her. She's been formally arrested. I can't just release her without procedure." "Sergeant, I request my phone call." Matthews removed the handcuffs. "Ma'am, I apologize." The metallic click, release, captured on 3 cameras. Patricia rubbed her wrists, red marks visible. Matthews gestured toward processing. "Ma'am, I need to complete intake, fingerprints, photograph, then your call." Patricia's eyes widened. "You're processing me? For what charge?" obstruction and failure to provide identification. Those charges are fabricated. This is retaliation. I understand. I'm sorry, but the arrest report's filed. I have to complete processing. The next 30 minutes were excruciating. Fingerprint scanner pressing against her fingers, ink staining her skin, measurement against the height chart. Then the moment that would haunt her, the booking photograph. Patricia stood against the white wall, placard at chest level. B-2023-104479. The camera flashed. Her face, exhausted, humiliated, defiant, captured forever. Timestamp, 5:47 p.m. Matthews handed her the phone. She dialed. "Mom, where are you?" Patricia's voice cracked. "Baby, I'm at the police station. I've been arrested. They've booked me. They took a mugshot. I need you to call Attorney Morrison. Tell him Officer Brennan arrested me at CVS for refusing to prove citizenship. Tell him they've processed me. I need help." "What?" "Mom, you're military." "I know, sweetheart, but call Mr. Morrison. Can you do that?" "Yes." "Are they keeping you overnight?" Patricia looked at Matthews. He nodded grimly. "Processing takes time. Attorney can arrange bail hearing in the morning. Baby, I won't be home tonight. They're holding me overnight." Her daughter's scream was captured on every camera. Patricia was led to a holding cell at 6:23 p.m., 8 by 10 feet. Concrete walls, institutional beige, metal bench bolted to the wall, stainless steel toilet in the corner, harsh fluorescent lighting that never turned off. The door clanged shut. Patricia sat on the metal bench, still in her uniform, and put her head in her hands. The ceiling security camera recorded her sitting there. Alone, a decorated military officer who'd served 28 years, spending the night in a cell because she had an accent. At 8:47 p.m., a corrections officer brought food. Cold meatloaf, instant mashed potatoes, canned green beans. Patricia couldn't eat. At 11:32 p.m., lights dimmed but never went dark. Patricia lay on the metal bench using her jacket as a pillow. The camera recorded her sleepless night, tossing, turning, sitting up, pacing. Attorney Morrison arrived at 6:15 a.m., demanding to see his client. By 9:47 a.m., Patricia was released on her own recognizance. 17 hours and 24 minutes in custody. Her uniform wrinkled, eyes red, face drawn, but the damage was done. At 6:23 a.m., while Patricia was still in her cell, a local news website published her mugshot. Headline: Army officer arrested for immigration violation. The photograph, her exhausted face, booking number visible, was shared across social media within minutes. By 9:47 a.m., her mugshot had 847,000 views on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Local news ran it on morning broadcasts. National news picked it up. Patricia's daughter, Amara, waited outside with Morrison. When Patricia emerged, Amara rushed forward, sobbing. News crews captured the reunion, mother and daughter embracing, Patricia crying openly. A reporter shouted, "Chief Adeyemi, how do you feel about spending the night in jail?" Patricia turned to the cameras, voice hoarse but clear. "I feel like the Constitution failed me yesterday, but I will not stop fighting until it's restored." The footage went viral. Her mugshot became the symbol. Within 24 hours, #JusticeForAdeyemi was trending nationally. Her mugshot shared 3.2 million times. CNN ran the story for 3 days. MSNBC brought on constitutional scholars. Fox News interviewed veterans groups calling for Brennan's termination. The Washington Post editorial, "When service to country isn't enough." Gwinnett County Police received 12,000 emails in 48 hours. Protest rallies formed, veterans in uniform holding signs. She served, she deserved better. 2 weeks later, Patricia received formal notification. All charges dropped. But the mugshot remained online. The humiliation was permanent. 4 days after charges were dropped, Patricia sat in attorney Marcus T. Morrison's downtown Atlanta office. Morrison, 53, had 22 years fighting police misconduct. He watched the complete body camera footage on 3 synced monitors. When it reached the handcuffing moment, Morrison paused. "Chief Adeyemi, this is textbook Fourth Amendment violation, racial profiling, retaliation, and we have it documented from 8 angles in perfect daylight." Morrison leaned forward. "You cited your rights correctly, showed valid ID, never resisted. You did everything right, and he arrested you anyway because you had an accent." Patricia's voice was quiet, but firm. "Mr. Morrison, I didn't serve 28 years to have my rights violated and spend the night in a cell like a criminal. My mugshot is everywhere. My grandchildren saw it. The humiliation is permanent. We're filing suit, federal civil rights action, Fourth Amendment violation, false arrest, retaliation, racial profiling, intentional infliction of emotional distress against Brennan, Walsh, and Gwinnett County." Within 2 weeks, Morrison assembled devastating evidence: body camera footage, booking video, Patricia's mugshot, proof of overnight detention, 8 witness videos, Patricia's spotless military record, her naturalization certificate from 1993, Brennan's personnel file, 5 prior complaints, 0 discipline. On November 17th, Morrison filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Georgia. Patricia Adeyemi versus Gwinnett County, Georgia, Marcus Brennan, Jennifer Walsh. 43 pages. The allegations: Fourth Amendment violation, retaliation, racial profiling, false arrest including overnight detention, intentional infliction of emotional distress, including public dissemination of booking photograph, municipal liability. Gwinnett County's first settlement offer came in January, $75,000 and additional training. Morrison's response: "Your offer is insulting and rejected." March brought a second offer, $350,000, Brennan's termination, policy reforms. Morrison called Patricia. "They're trying to make this go away." Patricia's voice was steel. "My mugshot has been seen by millions. My grandchildren ask why Grandma's picture looks like a criminal. This isn't about money. This is about accountability. We go to trial." Third offer in June. $1.2 million, Brennan terminated. Walsh suspended, mandatory training, federal monitoring. Patricia's answer: "No, we go to trial." Trial date: September 14th, 14 months after the incident. September 14th arrived. Richard B. Russell Federal Building, downtown Atlanta. Courtroom 2B packed. 200 spectators. Veterans in uniform filled the first 3 rows. National media lined the back wall. The jury, 12 Gwinnett County citizens, 6 women, 6 men, 3 black, 2 Hispanic, 1 Asian, 6 white. Morrison's opening: "Does the Fourth Amendment apply equally, or does having an accent give police the right to demand papers, arrest you, book you, photograph you like a criminal, and hold you overnight?" Chief Adeyemi served 28 years, deployed to combat, earned the Bronze Star, and she was arrested, not for breaking the law, but for knowing it and sounding different. Day 3. Body camera footage played. 3 angles simultaneously synced. 18 minutes, 47 seconds. The jury watched in silence. Patricia asking for probable cause. Showing military ID, Brennan dismissing it. The handcuffs closing. Patricia's clear statement to cameras. When it ended, 2 jurors were crying. Then booking footage, fingerprinting, height measurement, the mugshot. Patricia's exhausted face, booking placard at chest, timestamp 5:47 p.m. The jury watched Patricia led to a cell, door closing. Overnight footage of her sitting alone, pacing, unable to sleep. 3 more jurors crying. Patricia testified day 4, 6 hours over 2 days. Her background: immigrating at 16, working 2 jobs, joining the Army, earning citizenship with pride. Her service, deployments, dangers, sacrifices. Then October 10th. Her voice cracked. "I've carried that ID for 28 years. It represents everything I've worked for, and he looked at it for 2 seconds and said, "It could be fake." She described booking. They took my picture like I was a criminal, put me in a cell. I spent the night on a metal bench in my uniform staring at concrete walls, wondering how serving my country for 28 years meant nothing because of how I sound. She described seeing her mugshot online. My 7-year-old grandson asked his mother, "Why does Grandma's picture look like the bad people on TV?" How do you explain that to a child? Tears streamed down her face. The jury was transfixed. Brennan testified day 7. Morrison's cross-examination was surgical. "Officer Brennan, what probable cause did you have?" The complaint suggested what specific facts, what crime was described. Suspicious activity? What activity? Walking, talking, speaking a foreign language? Silence. Chief Adeyemi showed you her military ID, correct? Yes. You said it could be fake? It's possible. Have you ever encountered a fake military ID in 9 years? No. So you had no basis other than you didn't believe her, correct? I had a suspicion. Based on what? Her accent? You arrested her, booked her, photographed her, held her overnight. Why? She was obstructing. Obstructing what? You never articulated a crime. No warrant, no probable cause. You had an accent you didn't like and a woman who knew her rights. Isn't that the truth? No answer. In closing, Morrison addressed the jury. Chief Adeyemi did everything right. She asserted her rights calmly, showed identification, never resisted, and she was arrested anyway, booked, photographed like a criminal, and held overnight because Officer Brennan believed his badge gave him power over the Constitution. Your verdict will send a message that the Constitution applies to everyone, regardless of accent, regardless of origin. The jury deliberated 4 days. Patricia stayed with her family, unable to eat, unable to sleep. Morrison called twice daily, no updates. The jury had replayed body camera footage, requested Patricia's records, and the booking photograph with detention logs. September 28th, 3:47 p.m. Morrison's phone rang. "We have a verdict." Within 20 minutes, the courtroom packed again. Veterans filled the gallery. Patricia sat at the plaintiff's table, pale, her hands folded. Judge Howard entered. "Bring in the jury." The jury filed in slowly. None looked at the defense table. When a jury won't look at the defendant, it means guilt. Foreman William Preston stood, paper in hand, hands trembling. "Mr. Foreman, has the jury reached a verdict?" "We have, Your Honor." "Please read the verdict." Preston unfolded the paper. The courtroom held its breath. 200 people, silent. In Adeyemi versus Gwinnett County, Marcus Brennan and Jennifer Walsh, we find as follows. On count 1, Fourth Amendment violation, unlawful seizure. We find in favor of the plaintiff. On count 2, Fourth Amendment violation, retaliation. We find in favor of the plaintiff. On count 3, racial profiling, we find in favor of the plaintiff. On count 4, false arrest and false imprisonment, we find in favor of the plaintiff. On count 5, intentional infliction of emotional distress, we find in favor of the plaintiff. On count 6, municipal liability, we find in favor of the plaintiff. The courtroom erupted. Cheers, applause, tears. Patricia collapsed forward, sobbing. Morrison embraced her. Her husband rushed from the gallery. Amara buried her face in her mother's shoulder. Judge Howard gavelled gently. "Order. We still have damages." Damages phase took another week. Patricia's psychiatrist testified PTSD, nightmares, anxiety. Her therapist described ongoing twice-weekly sessions. Her commanding officer testified about early medical retirement due to stress. An economist calculated lost wages. Amara testified about finding the mugshot online, about her children. Amara testified about finding the mugshot online, about her children asking why Grandma looked like a criminal. "My mother is a hero," She served this country, and the world saw her photographed like she was dangerous. That image is permanent. October 5th. The jury reconvened. Patricia sat rigid. Preston stood looking shocked by what he was about to read. We award the following damages: for emotional distress, pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, violation of constitutional rights, public humiliation from mugshot dissemination, and overnight unlawful detention. $7.4 million in compensatory damages. For medical expenses, therapy costs, and lost wages. $1.4 million in compensatory damages. Total compensatory damages, $8.8 million. The courtroom gasped. Preston continued. Additionally, having found willful malicious conduct with reckless disregard for constitutional rights, we award punitive damages. Against Officer Marcus Brennan, $2.5 million. Against Officer Jennifer Walsh, $500,000. Against Gwinnett County, $5 million. Total punitive damages, $8 million. Grand total, $16.8 million. The courtroom exploded. Veterans stood and saluted. Patricia sobbed, her body shaking. Morrison was speechless. Brennan put his head in his hands. His career was over. Within 48 hours, Brennan was terminated. The Georgia Post Council revoked his law enforcement certification. He'd never work as police again. The FBI opened a civil rights investigation. Walsh resigned, accepting a plea deal to pay $125,000 over time and never work in law enforcement. Qualified immunity was denied. The 11th Circuit wrote, "The violation was so clear, so obvious, so egregious that no reasonable officer could have believed their conduct was lawful. Qualified immunity does not apply." Gwinnett County announced sweeping reforms. Mandatory Fourth Amendment training, implicit bias training, new policies requiring supervisor approval for immigration questioning, independent civilian oversight, civil rights compliance office with $2 million budget, community liaison positions, public apology. The DOJ opened a pattern and practice investigation. Federal monitors were assigned. A consent decree required 3 years of oversight. Patricia established the Chief Patricia Adeyemi Civil Rights Defense Fund, free legal representation for victims of racial profiling and Fourth Amendment violations. Annual budget, $3 million. First year, 83 individuals helped. Patricia became a national advocate. She testified before the House Judiciary Committee. Spoke at Harvard, Yale, Georgetown, Howard. Appeared on 60 Minutes, CNN, NPR. Her message: I'm not special. This happens every day to people who don't have cameras, don't have resources, don't know their rights. We have to do better. Patricia's case became a teaching tool. Police academies nationwide show the footage. Law schools use it in constitutional law courses. Adeyemi versus Gwinnett County has been referenced in 43 federal court decisions. Patricia retired from the Army in November with full honors. 200 soldiers attended. A 2-star general presided. National media covered it. Her speech: I joined the Army to serve a country that promised freedom and equality. That promise was broken in a CVS parking lot. But the jury's verdict restored my faith. The Constitution works when we fight for it. A year later, Patricia stood in that CVS parking lot. The store had installed a memorial plaque in honor of Chief Warrant Officer Patricia Adeyemi, whose courage in defense of constitutional rights reminds us that liberty requires vigilance, justice requires action, and freedom requires all of us. Patricia looked at the spot where Brennan handcuffed her. She remembered the fear, the humiliation, the cold cell, the sleepless night, the mugshot millions saw. But she also remembered her decision to speak clearly to the cameras, to assert her rights, to refuse to be silent. The Constitution didn't protect her because she was military. It protected her because she knew her rights, because she stood up for them, and because the truth, captured on 8 cameras in perfect afternoon sunlight, couldn't be denied. That's the power of evidence. That's the power of courage. That's the power of refusing to accept injustice. If you believe that accents don't determine citizenship, that the Fourth Amendment applies to everyone equally, and that badges don't grant unlimited authority, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Tomorrow we have another story about a grandmother detained at a hospital for speaking Spanish, and how her grandson, a federal prosecutor, made the department pay $4.3 million. Because the truth, when captured on camera and defended in court, has the power to change laws, reform systems, and restore dignity.